Hi, I'm Dick Orleans, and coming up on this edition of On Estes, musical guests Scott Vaughn and Tom Kechter will join us for the Art and Music Report. So, are you ready? Come on, let's go. Hey everybody, welcome back to On Estes. Thanks for joining us, and today our musical guest is Scott Vaughn, all the way from Pinewood Springs.
Good
Welcome
morning.
to the show, Scott.
Glad to be here.
Glad you could make it. Hey, let's just get into, asking about you.
Oh, okay, let's do it.
Okay. Well, I've heard you. I think a lot of people have heard your music, and you seem to be a very prolific songwriter. So maybe let's talk a little bit about that. What's your secret? How do you write your songs? That kind of thing.
Secret, boy, if I could bottle that. I don't know. I have periods of being prolific, I suppose. I'm a late night songwriter. I typically do it in the wee hours, and it's just it's the one thing that I like to do best. Well, there might be a few other things I like to do better, but in general, it's the thing I like to do best is have a guitar in my hand and write songs.
Uh-huh.
So typically a life experience will come, and either that pours through me and channels right through the guitar, or I'll be sitting around and just whacking away at the guitar, having fun, making melody and music, and a song will arrive that way. But it's just something that I do 24/7.
Do you find that maybe a song idea lyrically will come first, or is it a musical idea that
Understood.
happens?
For me, it goes both ways. Sometimes, the majority of times, a song will come. It'll be because a life experience or some funny thing on the road occurred, and it just sticks in my head, and that topic has to be written about. I just have to get it out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's normally how it occurs, but the smaller percentage of tunes, they come out. I come up with a guitar riff that just won't leave, and it'll stick in my head for a week or two. And that's the more challenging side of things, because at that point I have to come up with a topic. So then I've got this great groove, and I'm enjoying playing, and then my mind's working all the time. Now, what in the world is this song about? And sometimes they just work out.
Mm-hmm. Well, it seems like every time I see you, you have like at least one or two new songs.
That's good. I hope that continues.
Cool.
Yeah, I hope that continues.
Now, you just won a big songwriting contest
Mm-hmm.
in Denver. Could you tell us about that?
There was a music festival called the Swallow Hill Music Festival. It happens each year down in Denver, and they did 4 rounds of preliminary songwriting contests, Colorado Springs and 4 different cities they did.
Mm-hmm.
And the winners of those pools of songwriters got chosen, and they were to play on the main stage at the festival, and then they were judged, and the winner got to walk away with the loot. And I had a good run, and it was nice because instead of just doing 1 tune, you actually got to do 4.
Mm-hmm.
And that gives you a chance to step up, kind of loosen up, try your more upbeat stuff, and go this way, go that way. But it was a good thing. I got a lot of studio time out of it, and a new guitar, and that was a lot of fun.
What kind of guitar did you get?
I got a Seagull cedar top,
Oh, nice.
mahogany body, real wide neck.
Yeah.
It's a nice sounding fingerstyle guitar. So
How
I'm gonna
fun.
jump in the studio and get started to work on the next CD.
You'll get to use this new guitar on that next CD, right?
Maybe.
Yeah.
It takes a while for me to get to know a guitar.
Where are you doing your next CD?
I'm going to be recording that partly in Denver at
Mm-hmm.
the studio called the Swallow Hill has a branch office, which is a studio. There's a really great bluegrass musician. Can't think of his name. It was Charles. Can't think of his name, but his wife donated all of his studio.
Oh, Charles Sawtell.
Yeah, Sawtell
Yeah.
Studios.
From Hot Rise.
That's right. And his wife donated all the gear. And then there was another grant made, so they basically built a big studio recording facility down there. So I'll be tracking down there and then do
Very
the
cool.
mastering at Air Show.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Who's your biggest influence?
Single biggest influence?
Well, okay, top 3.
Top 3. All right. Oh, golly. Well, I know my biggest influence, really, the whole reason I'm a musician today is, believe it or not, is a little church choir all dressed out in robes.
Uh-huh.
I was about 8 years old, and I was living in Green Hills, Ohio, and my folks used to take me to a little Protestant church that had this incredible small town choir. Oh, and then the choir director was from New York, and he had moved this little town to get away and started this choir, which was just incredible. So here I am, 7 or 8 years old, attending on Sunday, and I vividly remember sitting down in one of the pews, and this choir breaks out into song with incredible harmonies and really, really well done. And I think that's where it all started, because for the next couple of years, I just never, ever stamped my feet, and the idea of going to church came up. I really enjoyed getting all that music. And then we fast forward to the 70s and find, Southern rock like Leonard Skinner,
Uh-huh.
get a little hillbilly in me.
Sure.
And then rock and roll like Led Zeppelin. And then suddenly I found the acoustic guitar was the most important thing in my hand. And in the 80s, I think Michael Hedges came out on the stage. And he's truly, he actually died an early death, which is sad, but he
Right.
really is one of the great fingerstyle and percussive guitar players out there. So I think those 3, some early church choir music, some maybe Southern rock and roll, and then Michael Hedges' percussive acoustic style, and then a lot of world beat influences and things like that from there.
Is that where you kind of got your love for alternative tunings from
I
Michael
think so.
Hedges?
I think the first time I heard alternate tunings was early Joni Mitchell stuff
Mhm.
and Crosby, Stills and Nash. I knew that they were doing dadgad drop tunings, and once I tried my first one, I heard a voice on a guitar that was all different, and I'm not real heavy into it, but I do apply it when I need to.
Mhm. Well, I know you use it a lot.
Yeah, well.
It always kind of throws me a little bit when you do that.
When the musicians say, "What key are you in?" I'm not quite sure anymore. I know that makes it tough.
Well, let's hear a song.
Wanna
What's
hear
the
a
first
song?
one you're going to do today?
I think the very first tune that I'll do will be One by One.
Okay. All right, let's hear Scott Vaughn, One by One.
Woo! There's a stiff wind blowing in. I came in through the transporter here. Suddenly I'm amidst the mountains. Quite nice place to play guitar for the folks. Glad you're listening. This is a tune called One by One. Pictures and postcards never seem to be as good as the paintings that they try and copy. The brush strokes are missing and the colors are not as real. Postcards get torn and the photos get old, but a life well lived, doing something you love, can make a memories for a lifetime, picked up one by one. One by one by one. One by one by one. One by one by one, the beat of your life goes on. Well, I know a painter who does it for free.
sits by his window so everyone can see the stories of his life come alive one by one. But there is a seed he loves to describe when he dropped to his knee and proposed to his bride. It never could paint that one, but boy, the memory lives on. One by one by one, one by one by one, one by one by one, the beat of your life goes on. The radio comes on in a little house. The family is all inside. They're dancing around to a melody, and a memory is born. One by one by one, one by one by one, one by one by one, the beat of your life goes on. The beat of your life goes on. The beat of your life goes on.
That's Scott Vaughn, Pinewood Springs singer-songwriter. We're going to be back right after this break. Hey, back in the studio with Scott. We'll do a little more talking.
Let's talk.
Okay. When did you start playing music?
Boy, I think I probably started right around that period of time where I was listening to the church choir and
Were you in the church choir eventually?
No, there was an all-adult choir. You know, I was just this little runt, and there was I think I might have picked up the guitar right then. So imagine I started playing guitar 8 or 9 years old, and you know, whacked away at who knows what my first couple of tunes were. Some classic hit from the 70s, I'm sure. And just kind of always had an acoustic guitar in my hands, I think, ever since. Yeah, I had one little foray of time where I delved into the electric world and got caught up in the rock and roll scene. But for the most part, I always really am happiest with an acoustic in my hand. And it's just been going that way since I was a little kid.
Did you ever play in a rock and roll band?
Yeah, I did. I had a few.
Yeah.
A couple garage bands as a kid, and high school rock and roll bands, and I paid my dues there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what happened in the college years?
My college years were great. I was actually one of those. I was a 5-year student. It took me 5 years to get a degree. I studied philosophy, and all along the way, I think after my sophomore year, I put this little acoustic duo together, and we were really popular around our neck of the woods, in Ohio and Indiana and Kentucky. We were. It was the title of the duo was called Bread and Circuses. Here I was, this philosophy major, and to me, the premise of bread and circuses was kind of the Roman idea that as long as you feed the masses food and you keep them well entertained, then the nobility can just do whatever the heck they want because the masses are happy. And as a young philosophy major, I thought, that's an uproar. That's what we'll name our duo, you know. And we went around and played a lot of cover songs and played all the clubs. And actually, that's how I paid my way through school, just playing guitar and singing. And those are some good memories. We had some wild times, as you can imagine.
Pretty nice. What was the toughest gig you ever played? I mean, everybody's got one.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's got a good story about that.
Toughest gig. Toughest gig was driving it was wintertime last year. I was heading north to do a gig in Wyoming, and I was heading north on I-25. It was late in the evening. I was going up to I-25 to catch I-80, go west into Laramie, Wyoming. And the drive was going perfectly smooth. I got to the sign that said 16 miles from Laramie. And at 16 miles is a little pass over 80. The cars started stopping. I get behind these cars and we slowly grind to a standstill. It's midnight. And I'm stuck behind all these cars. The snow windstorm comes in. Ooh. Midnight drops. All of a sudden it's 1 a.m. We're still standing. Lights start to turn off. It's 2 a.m, 3, 4. And I sit in my car in one spot in a whiteout from midnight to 7 a.m. stuck in the front seat. I have a 10 a.m. gig. I pull into Laramie. I get an hour sleep in a terrible hotel. I get 1 hour or an hour sleep. I play this morning gig. It goes wonderful. I get done with that, and I go back to the hotel room to try to catch a 3-hour window of sleep before I have to go back and do a big concert at night on the university campus. And there's a couple in the hotel room next to me, and they're doing the classic making whoopee right while I'm trying to sleep. I say to myself, this can't be happening. And after an hour of turning the TV up, I finally knock on the door. And I say, would you folks mind letting me get some sleep? They obliged. I got some sleep. I went and did this concert on campus, really fun show. And to end this incredibly challenging day, I walk off stage, and there's a light rack lighting up the stage. And as I step off the stage, bam, I hit it with my head because I have a big hat on. And I walk back to the bathroom and pull my hat off, and I've got blood coming down my head. How's that for a tough gig?
That's a tough gig.
That was a tough one.
That makes all the rest of them easy.
Oh, it really did. It was a good time, though.
Oh, well, what do you think about doing another song for us?
Okay, I'd love to.
What you got for us?
I think, what do I do next for you? I think I will do...
Sailing on a Boat.
How about let's do that
I
one?
love this one.
All right, I'll do it.
All right.
All right, let's do another one. Just sitting amongst the leaves, kind of like a caterpillar, you know?
Dig in.
Let's dig in. Sailing on a boat. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna go sailing on a boat. Finally made up my mind. Gonna go and sail around the world, yeah. I'm even gonna take my time. Oh, I hear the sirens calling, yeah, just pulling me in, singing out a pirate song, yeah, just pulling me in. Come closer, they say, we've everything you need. But I turn away this time. I will not listen to the siren song. I'm gonna go sailing on a boat. Let's go sailing. Gonna go and find my time. Gonna go and find me an island, yeah. Drop the anchor down and stay. I just need a mermaid to guide me, and that's where you come in. Would you wanna sail around the world with me? Splash around and just pretend. Come closer, they say, we've everything you need. But I turn away this time. I will not listen to the siren song. Not today. So will you come with me and keep me company? Let's steal away. Come on, let's go sailing on a boat. Why don't you come with me? Oh, let's go sailing on a boat. Keep me company, Mr. Dick Orleans. Come closer, they say. We've everything you need. But I turn away this time. I will not listen to the siren song. Not today. So will you come with me and keep me company? Let's steal away. Come on, let's go sailing on a boat. Why don't you come with me? Let's go sailing on a boat. Keep me company. Oh, come on and go sailing on a boat. Why don't you come with me? Oh, let's go sailing on a boat. Keep me company.
All right, Scott Vaughn is our special musical guest here today, and you're hearing some of his current music. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Scott Vaughn, and that was Sailing on a Boat. I sure like that song. That's a lot of fun.
Thanks.
Is that going to be on the new album?
That is going to be on the new album. I think that might be the lead-off track.
Yeah?
Yeah, I like it too.
What else are you going to put on that?
Oh golly, there's a slew of new tunes. I'm wrestling right now with about 15 tunes and trying to figure out what are my top 10 or 11 tunes. But that's that. Couple of fast flat picking tunes and some alternate tuning songs.
Good.
And a couple of real laid back pieces of some nice finger style music. So it's it'll be a nice varied set of tunes for you.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, you're using like a different kind of guitar. It's not a standard tuning guitar. What do you call that?
Well, it's called a baritone acoustic guitar, but believe it or not, what I've done is I've taken a baritone guitar, which just is a slightly larger scale length of guitar than a standard acoustic. Otherwise, it's the same. It's meant for heavier strings. But what I've done is actually go to standard strings that everyone uses and put it back in standard tuning, and it just stiffens up the soundboard for me so I can thwack it and get a little more out of it.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, where's that song you did come from, Sailing on a Boat? Where was the inspiration for that?
That is one in the where the music drove the song. Came up with a guitar idea, was playing the melody, and usually my really strong songs, they come quick. If I get a melody down and I'm playing the music, well, a lot of times if it's really hitting home with me, it will tell me what the song wants to be. And when I started playing that groove, then that's what came into my head. I'm on a sailboat.
Yeah.
I'm out in the ocean. That's where I am with this music, and that's where I'm going to take the song. And that's one of those ones that wrote itself fairly quickly.
It flows.
Thanks.
Now, you did a solo performance at the 2002 Olympic torch lighting ceremony.
I did.
So, how was that?
It was cold. It was cold. It was 19 degrees. The city had called me and asked me to write a song. The Olympic torch was making its way through the country and making stops at a bunch of major cities.
And where was this?
In Longmont, Colorado. And they called and asked that I write a song. So I penned a tune, actually on a lap steel acoustic lap steel. I played lap
Oh,
style.
nice.
And then they had me come. There were 7,000 people, and funny story is, the runners are coming up with a torch, and they've got this giant cauldron on stage, and it was literally, my hands were freezing because I had no gloves on, and I had to play guitar.
Right.
So I was so tempted during that show to walk over to that huge cauldron of flame and just warm my hands over the fire. I didn't. I refrained, but I actually did that show, and oddly, the whole front row, when there's 7,000 people, it's just a sea of people going back. But the first, couple hundred people, they're all looking over my shoulder, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm playing these tunes, and I'm getting great applause. You know, when the crowds get bigger, it's almost a little easier. How are you doing? You know, it's fun in that capacity. There's a lot of energy with that many people.
Yeah.
But they're all looking to my right. When I'd finish up tunes or the applause would come, they'd all be staring over my shoulder, and I could not figure out why. I thought, why is my front row so distracted? And it wasn't until after the concert that I realized they had brought in a giant stadium-sized television screen.
Oh.
And so they were putting my mug up on the screen close up, and it was much easier to see this giant screen than it was to see little old me from anywhere. So they were watching this giant version of me, but I had no idea. So that was a perplexing but really fun show. I was proud to be a part of that.
Well, at least they weren't showing a Broncos game.
That's right.
You know how that happens sometimes.
That's right.
Oh, so you don't live in Estes Park, do you?
I don't. I live right down the hill.
Yeah.
I live in Pinewood Springs, which is down the canyon 15 minutes.
Uh-huh.
It's a little mountain community, just...
We all drive through it.
Yeah, you drive right past it. And there's no commercial except for 2 restaurants. One's a little French restaurant, one's a little Polish restaurant, and it's all the rest just residential.
Yeah.
So just a little mountain valley surrounded by Roosevelt National Forest. It's nice living.
Yeah,
it really is. It is.
Well, I want to talk to you a little bit more about your wild kingdom that's going on around your house.
Okay.
But let's have you do another song first.
Be glad to.
This is Molly Malone, and this is a song from your current CD.
It is.
That's for sale right now.
It is.
All right. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
It's a song that I was sitting at a bus stop, and I was just actually sitting down. There was a gal sitting right next to me. I tend to strike up conversations with strangers at all times, and we had a brief conversation, probably 5 total minutes. But she left an impression on me. There was a sorrow to to this woman's face and to her being that kind of came out, and I felt it. So she boarded the bus, drove away, and left. And there's a sadness to the gal, just a lonely sadness to her, and the lines in her face told me a story. So I picked up my guitar that night and started strumming, and that song came out.
And she'll never know.
And well, who knows? We hope someday she'll come across, I wish I'd gotten her name. That would have been great, because then I would have probably named the song after her, but I didn't get her name, so I had to kind of come up with something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's give a listen.
Let's do it.
Scott Vaughn, Molly Malone.
Ah, feels good to be out of the leaves and back into the woods, blue sky. Let's do this little song called Molly Malone.
You got it.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2. Molly Malone, she went down to the corn. Oh no, she never came back. She headed down south west, she found an older bandit, run down wooden shack. But if you see her, tell her I love her. Tell her I'm lonely, my sweet Bonita, come home. Molly Malone, she sent out some letters, telling her friends where she'd gone. She was tired of living without money. Whoa, now my woman was gone. But Tell her I love her. Tell her I'm lonely, my sweet Bonita, my sweet Bonita. Won't you come home? Molly Malone is still living on her own. Oh no, she never came back. She's singing away somehow down in her garden. Oh, I know she'll never come back. But if you see her, tell her I love her. Tell her I'm lonely, my sweet Bonita, my sweet Bonita. Won't you come home? Yeah. Molly, Molly, please come home.
That's Scott Vaughn with Molly Malone, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. That was Scott Vaughn and Molly Malone from his current CD that's available, Scott Vaughn, Portable Groove. You groove pretty well.
I try.
You have this real percussive style. It's almost like you don't need a drummer.
I think that's exactly where it came from. Is I hear rhythm pretty well, and I like to accompany myself with very rhythmic style. So if I'm playing fingerstyle, I can throw in a bass line. But if you're playing with a flat pick, it's nice to be able to just go, you know, have that going behind you. So when you're singing, there's a rhythm going on behind the guitar. So that is nice. I work hard at that.
Well, we can tell. How long you been in Pinewood?
I've been in Pinewood Springs, golly, over 6 years now.
Great.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, what's this I hear about you living in Wild Kingdom?
I have a national forest that kind of backs up to the properties right behind ours, and there's been just in the last few weeks an area cougar.
Yeah.
Mountain lion's been kind of prowling the area, which is, you know, fairly common for mountainous terrain. But this fellow's gotten real comfortable with things and making folks a little bit uncomfortable themselves,
I'll bet.
watching their dogs and their little ones. He's been on folks' decks and just kind of sunning himself on your deck, walking outside, smashing a pot and pan, trying to scare him off, and he doesn't budge. So it makes people concerned. But he visits me here and there at night, and he'll howl outside my studio window, and I'll hear him. And the last time he came, first 2 times I just listened from the inside. They kind of make a pretty interesting sound. But the last time he came, I walked outside my studio. I tiptoed outside real quietly and shut the door and stood out in the dark and listened to him. And then I whispered over to him, "Fellow, I think you better get a move on because the neighborhood's quite aware of you, and it's time
yeah.
and time to get a move back up to the hills." So hopefully he'll do that because I'm sure he's, you know, enjoying himself in our neck of the woods, you know.
Is it just a nighttime visit or?
Yeah,
Okay.
Just a nighttime visit for me.
Yeah.
In the neighborhood, he's been showing himself in the daytime.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you seen him clearly during the day at all?
No,
So you
I
don't-
haven't, but neighbors have.
About how big is this animal?
I don't know. It's just it must. Everybody seems to think it's a male mountain lion,
Uh-huh.
and our neighborhood has a high respect for animals. They respect the elk that come through, all the muley deer, all the mountain lions, and the point of living up here is to somewhat find that middle point between allowing the animals to have a lot of the ground
Sure.
which they really where it's theirs to begin with,
Right.
and we're here, So how can you live semi-low impact and live amongst that wildlife?
Mhm.
So the neighborhood's not really upset about it. They're just being cautious. Everybody's kind of it's it's part of the fun. It's part of the joy
Sure.
of living here. So long as the animal doesn't get hurt and no dogs or children get hurt.
Exactly.
But the challenge is making that balance work, and it's always tough when you live on the fringe of true wilderness. But it makes for good gossip around the neighborhood.
Well, that's why we live here,
Yep.
you know.
The stories are fun. Hey, I have a question for you.
What?
Is it? I was told that this interview might be happening, and you're not wearing any pants. That's what I've been told twice now.
That's why
I don't
we have
want to
this
know.
desk here.
I don't want to know for sure, but could that be true? You're in boxer shorts back there.
We'll talk about that in future programs.
Okay.
You silly guy. Hey, okay, just before you go,
Okay.
favorite gig?
Favorite gig. Favorite gig, I think, was one I was much younger. I did a concert back in Miami, Ohio, and my guitar was not working 2 or 3 minutes before the show. Stepped up on stage to open up for a pretty large act. Somebody handed me a guitar that I wasn't used to, and I went and performed a really great show, and I walked away knowing that it wasn't as important what instrument I have in my hand, but I'd come to a certain point now as a musician where I could get around on any guitar you gave me, and what mattered was being able to express yourself across to the crowd. So even though it maybe wasn't the biggest crowd I've ever played, it was something I walked away with real happy that I could, with 1 minute to spare, be handed a guitar that I didn't know, jump up on stage, entertain the folks, sing quite well, and come off happy. And that was great. I handed the guy the guitar back, and he looked at it and said, "My Lord, what have you done to my guitar?" It's covered in sweat, and it's in a weird tuning. That was a good show.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to do one more song. Before we do this, I just wanted to let you tell everybody where they can get your CD.
Right now it's available online. It is, if you go to cdfreedom.com, I think it's just cdfreedom.com, and you type in my name, Scott Vaughn, and it's spelled V-O-N, then there's a little promo spiel and some pictures and some downloads, and then you can buy the CD online.
Great.
Yeah.
And you're going to do one more song for us.
All
Please,
right.
please.
I'd be glad to. Let's do it.
All right. This is called Leo's Cooking.
It is, and we're going to get cooking here.
Now tell me a little bit about Leo's Cooking.
Leo's Cooking was a song that was written. I have a 2-year-old son, and when my wife was pregnant, the little miracle of her belly growing and sitting across from a pregnant woman, playing music, trying to get that into him at a real early age.
Sure.
He was born. The song kind of changed. Boy, when you have a 6-month-old child in the house trying to sleep, you have to play very softly. So I'm playing real softly. Then he hits 1-year-old, and suddenly he's walking and talking, and the song's picking up speed. And then all of a sudden he hits 2, and he's full go, 100% boy. And now the song's really cooking. So it's kind of changing as he changes, and it's a song I wrote for my boy. It's called Leo's Cooking.
Is that going to be on the new CD?
I think it will.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, let me just say thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Have us. We'll let you do one more song, and hope to see you soon.
Thanks again.
All right, Scott Vaughn. He's going to play Leo's Cooking for you.
What a nice view we have of Long's Peak over the shoulder. The aspen groves really just couldn't be any more beautiful. Here's a tune for you.
You're watching On Estes, and we'll be right back. Welcome back. It's time for the Music and Art Report. We're going to start with the music first. And joining us, we have Tom Kechter. Thanks for coming in and helping out on the report.
Absolutely,
here.
my pleasure. I am always completely impressed with the music and art and entertainment in this area. So it's a pleasure to be here announcing.
There's a lot.
There's a lot, and it's, you know, for a relatively small town, we have a lot of big talent here.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, let's get started. On the music side, Acoustic Kitchen open mic night with featured performers every Wednesday at 8:30. J.R. Chapin's Lounge, located in the Holiday Inn. You know where that is, right?
I do indeed. I remember there's some guy who looks a lot like me that works there. I don't know who.
Why don't you tell us who's coming up?
On December 10th, it is our wonderful friend Birgit, who does probably the best version of Landslide, the old Fleetwood Mac song that I've heard for a long time. On December 17th, Don Lewis, who to describe him as a local favorite would be not doing him justice. And then on December 24th, it's Christmas Eve. Stay home, be with your families.
Yeah.
We are closed on Christmas Eve.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
And then on Saturday nights, every other Saturday night over at J.R. Chapin's Lounge is Nightlife Acoustic Music Series. And on December 13th, Karen Sumi will be the special guest, performing all evening long. And then December 27th, the Elk Tones will have a
one
night
and only
there.
Elk Tones.
We'll rock 'em and sock 'em.
And just for the record, and I know you don't know I was going to say this, I just got the Elk Tones CD, and it is absolutely amazing, and it has actually become a stocking stuffer for several people out there. You guys are great.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Speaking of Christmas, the Christmas Campfire Sing-Along with Brad Fitch at Baum Park will be happening. That will be on Saturday, December the 6th, and Sunday, December the 7th, from 2 to 3 p.m. Should be a lot of fun to do that as well.
And he's going to have a big fire going.
Really? Is it? I thought that maybe that was like just sort of a campfire in quotes kind of a thing.
You need something to keep you warm.
Indeed, indeed.
And then Saturday, December 13th at 3 p.m., the Rocky Mountain Brassworks Holiday Concert at the Methodist Church right here in Estes Park.
Friends of Folk will be coming to Mary's Lake Lodge December the 26th. That would be the day after Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Elk Tones kick off the season premiere at 8:30 p.m.
You bet. And there's also other things going on at the Mary's Lake Lodge. They have a music program 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. And Friday, December 5th, Kip Yeager. He's traditional classic covers. And then Saturday, December 6th, Ash Ganley. And he'll be doing some blues rock.
I gotta say that's the best name I've heard so far in all of
blues
the
name.
Yes, I am Ash Ganley. Either that or that's a CNN sports guy, one of the two. But at Kavanaugh's Pub on Wednesday from 7:30 to 10 o'clock, they're having an open mic bluegrass night, which bluegrass musicians are some of the best out there. So go down and see that. And Saturday from 8 o'clock to 10:30, it's Blues with JC.
That's without the grass.
It's exactly right.
Yeah. With JC. We're going to have to find out who JC is.
It sounds a little vague, doesn't it? It's JC, don't say.
And then, of course, the annual New Year's Eve Bash with the Elk Tones, 9 p.m. to 1 p.m. That, of course, is December 31st at the Holiday Inn. And you can call the Holiday Inn for more information and reservations. It's $5 per person, and kids are welcome. Isn't that fun?
It is a very good thing. Very rare are kids welcome to something like that. And again, but again, you guys are so great. It's what a great way to ring in the new year, as they say.
Yeah, and then there's going to be a DJ there too.
There is, and the Elk Tones are going to be playing in one of the big rooms over there, and there's a DJ that'll be in the lounge as well that day.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right, and for all the open mic nights, at least the ones that I know about, there's a house guitar, a sound system, stuff like that. And that applies to the Acoustic Kitchen open mic night and also the Friends of Folk, which is going to be at Mary's Lake Lodge. So that does it for the music calendar.
Lots to come out and see.
Yeah, let's take a look at the arts calendar.
All right. Now, the variations on a theme, Estes Park Plein Air Painters. The exhibit hours are through December are Monday through Friday. That will be from 12 to 4 o'clock p.m., or you can call them and go by appointment. The Cultural Arts Council Fine Art Gallery, that would be right there at 304 East Elkhorn Avenue, or you can give them a call at 586-9203.
There you go. And then the Stanley Museum of Colorado. Guess where that is?
I'm trying to remember. I feel like I've seen it someplace.
It's over at the Stanley, 577-1903, and they have an ongoing exhibit that's always a lot of the Estes Park history.
Well, it's so much of Estes Park history. And one of my favorite events of any kind of the holiday seasons is the Colorado Children's Chorale. Their holiday concert will be at 7 o'clock p.m. at the Estes Park High School Auditorium. It's only $10 for adults. Children are free. And if kids singing Christmas songs doesn't get you in the Christmas spirit, nothing's going to do it.
You bet. And then the Estes Park Music Festival Fantasy Ball. Now, can you imagine that? It's a fundraiser event that includes a formal dinner and dance. It's at the Estes Park Conference Center. Cocktails are at 6, dinner at 7:30, dancing from 8 to 11:30 p.m. Black tie optional. You can get really decked out if you want. And only $75 per person, and it goes to a great cause. It's the Estes Park. It helps the Estes Park music scene.
And I got to say, the fun thing about this is nobody knows until the very moment that they open the door what the theme of the ball is going to be. They have been working on this apparently for like the past month or two, but it's very, very secretive. Yeah. Make an edible homestead. Learn about an edible homestead. Hey honey, the barn looks kind of yummy today. Learn about the Homestead Act of 1862 and about how some local homesteaders fared at the Estes Park Area Historical Museum. Reservations are required for this for kids in 1st through 4th grades. From 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock is when you can go. You do need to call for reservations, so give them a call at 586-6256.
And the Holiday Gift Emporium at the Stanley, it's the 10th annual show and sale. It's showcasing fine art, crafts, and Christmas collectibles by Colorado artists. Bring the family. There's live holiday music and more. That's at the historic Stanley Hotel. Concert hall hours, and the hours are 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. $1 donation at the door.
And I got to tell you again, our little town is the most magical place under normal circumstances, but when Christmas comes, there's something extra that happens here.
Well, just like the parade last week.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Celebrate in Estes, a holiday celebration in downtown Estes Park featuring carolers, vendors, hay rides, and of course, Santa.
And this is Santa's only appearance in Colorado until Christmas Eve.
My daughter is 3 years old this year, and it is her first time to be going and sitting on Santa's knee right here in Estes Park. I am so excited for that.
And then there's also, that same weekend, the Holiday Art Walk, a self-guided tour of more than Estes Park's fine art galleries. There's all kinds of stuff. There's going to be carolers, there's going to be music, all kinds of fun stuff. So it's definitely worth coming out. Hopefully we'll have some nice weather for it too.
I hope so. The Estes Park Music Festival at the Stanley Hotel will be happening. David Green Ensemble will be the people going and playing. That will be at 2 o'clock p.m. at the Music Room, so you can always go down and see that as well.
And that's December 7th.
That is December 7th.
And also on the 13th, the life and times of Rocky Mountain National Park's high elevation lakes. Dr. Corin Nadick will speak about the natural changes that lakes in the park have gone through in the last century. It's free. It's at the Beaver Meadows Visitor Center at 7 p.m. That's on the 13th.
Now, we continue to talk about the Estes Park Music Festival at the Stanley Hotel. This time, a week later than we'd already discussed, on December the 14th, there's going to be an a cappella choir that will be at 2 o'clock p.m. at the Stanley Concert Hall. There's just a small $5 admission for that. I love a cappella music.
But it brings some great music to Estes Park.
It does indeed.
That we probably won't see at J.R. Chapin's.
Well, we pretty much insist you have to have a band with you. No, not really.
Hey, why don't you take the next one as well?
Yeah, only because you can't pronounce it. Let's see. Oratorio Society of Estes Park presents, It is Bach's Christmas Oratorio. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. 3 o'clock p.m. at the Community Church of the Rockies. Free there's a reception following. There is a free will offering that they will take if you would like.
Yeah, and that's on the 14th. Now, isn't that a kind of cookie or something?
It's the Italian version of it.
All right, and our last item for today is on the 14th. The Village Band and Jazz Big Band will give a concert of favorite Christmas music at 7 p.m. at Estes Park High School Auditorium, and that's free.
Wonderful.
And
Christmas
that does
music.
For some of our music and arts around town. And hey, thanks for doing it. That made it a whole lot more fun.
Anytime I can be here, I love to support the arts, music, and whatever scene here in Estes Park, so I'm happy to be a part of this.
Yeah. All right, well, you all take care. We'll see you soon. Keep a good eye on Estes for us, okay?
Here's a tune for you. Let's do this little song called Molly Malone.
You got it.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2.
Molly Malone, she went down to the corn. Oh no, she never came back. She headed down south west, she found an older bandit run down wooden shot. But if you see her, tell her I love her. Tell her I'm lonely, my sweet Bonita, come home. Molly Malone, she sent out some letters telling her friends where she'd gone. She
was tired of living without money. Whoa, now my woman was gone. But if you see her, well, tell her I love her. Tell her I'm lonely, my sweet bonita, my sweet bonita. Won't you come home? Molly Malone is still living on her own. Oh no, she never came by. She's singing away somehow down in her garden. Oh, I know she'll never come by. But if you see her, tell her I love her. Tell her I'm lonely, my sweet bonita, my sweet bonita. Won't you come home? Yeah. Molly, Molly, please come home.
This is a tune called One by One.
Pictures and postcards never seem to be as good as the paintings that they try and copy. The brush strokes are missing and the colors are not as real. Postcards get torn and the photos get old, but a life well lived, doing something you love, can make a memories for a lifetime, picked up one by one. One by one by one. One by one by one. One by one by one, the beat of your life goes on. Well, I know a painter who does it for free. He sits by his window so everyone can see the stories of his life come alive one by one. But there is a seed he loves describe when he dropped to his knee and proposed to his bride. It never could paint that one, but boy, the memory lives on. One by one by one, one by one by one, one by one by one, the beat of your life goes on. The radio comes on in a little house. The family is all inside. They're dancing around to a melody, and a memory is born. One by one by one, one by one by one, one by one by one, the beat of your life goes on. The beat of your life goes on. The beat of your life goes on. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna go sailing on a boat. Finally made up my mind. Gonna go and sail around the world, yeah. I'm even gonna take my time. Oh, I hear the sirens calling, yeah, just pulling me in, singing out a pirate song, yeah, just pulling me in. Come closer, they say, we've everything you need. But I turn away this time, I will not listen to the siren song. I'm gonna go sailing on a boat. Gonna go and find my time. Gonna go and find me an island, yeah. Drop the anchor down and stay. I just need a mermaid to guide me, yeah. And that's where you come in. Would you wanna sail around the world with me? Splash around and just pretend. Come closer, they say, we've everything you need. But I turn away this time, I will not listen to the siren song, not today. So will you come with me and keep me company? Let's steal away. Come on, let's go sailing on a boat. Why don't you come with me? Yeah. Oh, let's go sailing on a boat. Keep me company, Mr. Dick Orleans. siren song, not today. So will you come with me and keep me company? Let's steal away. Come on, let's go sailing on a boat. Why don't you come with me? Let's go sailing on a boat. Keep me company. Oh, come on and go sailing on a boat. Why don't you come with me? Oh, let's go sailing on a boat. Keep me company.